welcome back. You're watching Gravitas, and here's a WION exclusive report. An Indian girl married to a Pakistani has triggered a diplomatic row. The Pakistan Foreign Office says she's stranded in the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. The Indian authorities tell us that she fears for her life and wants to return home. WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Taha Siddiqui brings you a report that might just be the tip of an iceberg.
After the controversy over Kulbhushan Yadav's abduction and conviction by a Pakistan military court, another issue is now raising the temperatures in Delhi and Islamabad. This concerns Indian citizen Uzma, who's married to a Pakistani national Tahir. Uzma is now in the Indian High Commission in Islamabad and has refused to return to her husband, saying she wants to go home. On Monday, Uzma filed a statement in a local Islamabad court. She alleged she was forced into marrying Tahir at gunpoint. The statement details that she was drugged and forcibly taken to Tahir's village. She claimed that she was abused and received death threats if she did not marry Tahir.
वाघा बॉर्डर से लिया है, उसने स्लीपिंग पिल दी है मुझे और मैं रास्ते में सो गई, मुझे नहीं पता कि वो मुझको कहाँ ले जा रहा है। उसने गन पॉइंट पर मुझसे निकाहनामे पे साइन करवाया है। वहाँ पर जाने के बाद, अपने घर पे जाने के बाद बहुत ज़्यादा मेंटली, फिजिकली एंड सेक्सुअली बहुत ज़्यादा टॉर्चर किया है। गन पॉइंट पर निकाह कराया, बहुत मुश्किल से उसको लालच देकर मैं यहाँ हाई कमीशन तक पहुँची हूँ कि मुझे सेव किया जाए। और हाई कमीशन में मैं अपनी मर्ज़ी से रुकी हूँ, कोई फोर्स नहीं है मुझ पर, जैसे कि इन्होंने फोर्स किया हो मुझे कि आप यहाँ पर रुको, अपनी मर्ज़ी से। और हाई कमीशन में मैं जब तक रहूँगी जब तक दिल्ली में सेफली ना पहुँच जाऊँ। हाई कमीशन से मैं बाहर नहीं निकलूँगी। दैट्स इट।
Earlier, Islamabad police had released a statement saying that Uzma was at the Indian High Commission by her choice, that she was not happy with her marriage to Tahir, and that he had misled her. A formal court hearing will take place later this week. Since Uzma is an Indian national holding a valid passport, there may be no issues with her returning to India. The courts have set the date of 11th May for the next hearing, when both sides will present their evidence in their favor. Local authorities say that if Uzma wants to head back to India, they will facilitate her. Until then, she is to stay at the Indian High Commission, given the threats to her life from Tahir and his family. This is Taha Siddiqui with cameraman Rao Bilal reporting for WION from Islamabad.
And Taha Siddiqui, our Pakistan Bureau Chief, is joining us live this evening, as is G. Parthasarthi, former High Commissioner to Pakistan. Good evening to both of you. Taha, you've accessed the affidavit, you've spoken to authorities who are in touch with Uzma and heard from her herself. What has she said?
Well, from what we know and what you also in the report that you played, basically she spoke very briefly outside the courts when she presented herself today morning, and she was accompanied by officials from the Indian High Commission and a lawyer that they have gotten for her for consular services that they're providing. And basically, she spoke about how she was, in a way, the message was that she was duped into sort of like this whole marriage affair, and she was basically taken from Islamabad to Bonaire, where she had no idea about of where she was headed, who she was going to, why she was headed there. Basically, she says she was here just to visit her friend who is Tahir, and she wanted to see the family, but she did not know that he would basically then later on at gunpoint force her to marry her. She also says that basically a lot of, there's a video surfacing of the nikah ceremony being performed, the marriage ceremony being performed, and she says that prior to that, preceding to that ceremony, she was harassed and abused and threatened so much that she had no choice but to go ahead with that ceremony. And because of that, that video has surfaced, and it's not as if she by her will and by her choice is sitting there and performing and that marriage nikah ceremony with the husband. Also, she says that because she feels threatened still, she wants to continue staying inside the Indian High Commission building at the Indian High Commission until her sort of departure from Pakistan can be assured, which basically on the 11th of May, as my report suggested also, the next hearing will happen, where the husband has been told to bring his evidences, Uzma has been told to bring her evidence, and then the courts will look at both the evidence and decide what the next course of action will be, and whether or not she, by her choice, was married or she was forcibly married. And there could be, in that case, there could be some case against the husband. So all of that will be decided on the 11th of May, 3 days from now.
Okay. Mr. Parthasarathy, what do you make of this case? This is a woman who wants to sue her husband also for cheating and assault, and also wants to come back to India because she feels she's not safe there. So what are her options? What can she do?
Look, I don't know why this is being treated so separately. In our missions abroad, and I've served in quite a few, including Pakistan, you get cases like this fairly regularly. Even in the United States, that a boy comes to India, says he's a green card, takes her away, and then she gets mistreated and wants to come back.
But here is the Foreign Office coming out and making a statement that she's been stranded and detained by the Indian officials.
No, just a minute. The Foreign Office was stupid to have said that. But the reality is that she is a consulting adult. She knew some guy in Malaysia or wherever. He invites her to Pakistan. Are we suggesting that she knew nothing about what she was letting herself in for?
There might have been a friendship. Okay, she decided to go with him.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But she's claiming that she was drugged.
All right. So what really happens? What is the responsibility of the High Commission? Provide her protection and be there at her court appearance and repatriate her to India. You know, you get dozens of such cases in the Middle East, in the Gulf countries. Especially the Arabs cheat Indian women, and then the missions deal with it. But there's not this sort of publicity about it. It just gets done. If you choose to place your word or your belief on someone you say you have known for years in Malaysia or wherever, and he invites you, obviously there's a friendship or a relationship. So while we need not go into that. I think we should be careful not to make too much of this. This is a human problem. It has nothing to do with India and Pakistan. And it should be dealt in a humanitarian manner. There are very clear consular instructions. It is the job of the mission to look after her safety and security. They're doing that. But obviously she can't be living indefinitely in the premises of the High Commission because, you know, it's a security area. And once this case is over, the High Commission should indicate its preparedness to repatriate her back to India. The choice can be either from Lahore by air or by road from Wagah.
Right.
And we can work that out with the Foreign Office in Pakistan. So I think treat it in those terms. As a girl, perhaps, yes, she was misled. That's bad. But in human relations, these are cases which happen for Indians, going abroad.
So I'll tell you what my worry is, and for those who've responded to this story, that this is a girl who managed to go to the Indian High Commission and make her point clear. Even before listening to her side of the story, the Pakistan Foreign Office came out and said she was stranded. They took the husband's word for the gospel truth. How many women, who, as you say, there are many cases, have a fighting chance of, when they go to the Pakistani authority, for instance, and say that I'm being ill-treated by my husband's family, will they be given a fair hearing?
No, she did the right thing. You go to, if you have been mistreated, you head for the nearest Indian mission. Every Indian mission may or may not have political or economic staff, but they have consular staff to look after Indian nationals. Every Indian mission, without exception. And they are trained to do that. And if you see, especially with the present Minister Sushma Swaraj, every official abroad knows she's very touchy about the way Indians are treated abroad. And missions, therefore, as long as she's been minister that I know, really lean back to see nothing happens. So this mission in Islamabad is very well staffed. You've got about 70 or 80 staff there. She will be looked after. The food is available within the High Commission premises. She'll go to court. She'll have a say. If I were her, I would then perhaps contact someone like Asma Jahangir or one of the human rights organizations to pursue the matter. Because, I mean, she can't indefinitely live in hostile surroundings or inside a High Commission premises.
Right.
A correct course of action, if you ask me, and you have, like Asma's, several number of good people, NGOs in Pakistan, who, if they are convinced of her case, will take it up.
Taha Siddiqui, my final question to you, how many other Uzmas are there that we know about?
Well, as far as if we're talking about cases between India and Pakistan, that's rare to see. But Similar cases are, as the other guest is also mentioning, from the western side of the country, from the world. For example, many such cases have surfaced in the sense of from UK, where men have gone there, gotten married to women over there, brought them back here, and then they have tried to escape, and then they have been caught by the family. There have been issues of honor killing, as you know, according to the Pakistani NGOs and human rights observers here. Over 1,000 women get killed every year in Pakistan over honor killing. So every time such a thing arises where a woman is involved and getting married to her, and especially in a conservative society like the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, where this man is from, this trigger of honor comes in every time a woman tries to say that she wants to be independent of that relationship, she wants to go free, and she doesn't want to be part of it anymore, or she goes against the husband or the family or the in-laws. So similar cases have arisen before in the past, especially from people who are families who are living in the UK, in the US, Pakistanis who are living over there. They marry off their girls to Pakistanis living in Pakistan, and then these girls do not adjust, and then similar cases of them arriving at the British High Commission or the US Embassy here and asking for consular access and help. We've seen those cases before also.
All right, Taha, thanks very much for joining us. Mr. Parthasarathi, I'll request you to stay. There's one more story coming out of Pakistan. Iran and Pakistan locking horns over the killing of Iranian border guards. Iran has threatened to strike bases and sanctuaries in Pakistan's Balochistan province. It claims Sunni Muslim militants are located there. It blames the Sunni extremist Jaish al-Adl group of staging cross-border attacks, firing heavy weapons at Iranian border guards in Iran's Sistan Balochistan province, killing 10 of these people last month. Earlier, the Iranian border guards have been kidnapped. Pakistan has promised to beef up security on the border, but there is a certain impunity with which Sunni extremists operate in Pakistan. And Iran's Armed Forces Commander, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, warned, and I'm quoting, "We cannot accept the continuation of the situation. We expect Pakistan officials to control borders, arrest the terrorists and shut down their bases. If the terrorist attacks continue, we will hit their safe havens and cells wherever they are." So, Mr. Parthasarathi, my question to you is, how serious is the situation? And after Afghanistan and India, is Pakistan opening another front on its western border?
Well, Pakistan has had this problem with Iran for quite some time. Jaish al-Adl is just a recent phenomenon. Earlier, there was a group called Jundullah, which was Karachi-based, operated out of the Balochistan border. And from what the Iranians told me, and I'm talking about what I've been told by the Iranians, they were funded by both the ISI and CIA to destabilize Sistan Balochistan, which is a Sunni majority province in Iran. So this is not new. I've known in the past when the Iranians have carried out their threat of hitting back. But in this particular case, this is the new group. It's coming at a time when there are grave concerns in Iran about Pakistan joining this 41-member Sunni military alliance, which is to be headed by its former Chief of Army Staff, General Rahil Sharif. So there are these larger Iranian concerns about Pakistan and not just doing this on its own. Earlier on with Jundullah, it was said to be done in conjunction with the CIA, but now with a larger grouping of Sunni countries. So I think Pakistan really is back to a situation where it is into being accused of funding or providing haven to extremists by all three of its neighbors, Iran, Afghanistan and India.
Right, and I would have liked to ask how India sees this, but I'm completely out of time on this one. So thanks very much, Mr. Parthasarathi. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. We're taking a break. Up next, South Korea is going to polls under the shadow war. More when we return from this break.